For thousands of years, the All-Father carried a secret. Odin knew exactly how he was going to die. It wasn't by age, it wasn't by sickness. It was a wolf. Jaws wide enough to swallow the sky, and him standing right in front of it. The vision never changed. The same jaws, the same end. No matter what he did, it was always waiting. So he tried to outrun it, not with speed, with knowledge. He fed himself to the world piece by piece, hoping the next sacrifice would be the one that changed what was written. It never was. The first time, he went to the tree. Yggdrasil, its branches hold up the sky. Its roots drink from wells so deep that even the gods don't know what lives at the bottom. Everything hangs from that tree. And Odin decided to hang from it too. He went alone. No ravens, no wolves, no throne. Just a god, a spear, and something he needed to know. He took Gungnir and drove it through his own side. Then he looped a rope over a branch and let himself fall, a sacrifice of himself, to himself, with no one else to witness it. 9 days, 9 nights, no food, no water. No one came because no one knew he was there. The wind tore at the wound in his ribs. Blood dried black against his skin. His lips cracked open and his tongue swelled until he couldn't scream anymore. By the 3rd day, his ravens found him. They circled overhead, but didn't land. Even they knew better than to interrupt what was happening. By the 5th day, the wounds stopped weeping. Not because they healed, because there was nothing left to weep. And through all of it, he stared down, past the bark, past the roots, into something so deep it had no bottom, and so dark it had no name. For 8 days, nothing stared back. On the 9th night, the runes appeared, shapes carving themselves out of the darkness, burning into his mind one by one. Words of power that could heal the sick, bind the living, wake the dead. They came screaming into him like fire through dry wood. And when the last one carved itself into his skull, the rope snapped. Odin hit the ground and lay there, shaking, while the knowledge settled into his bones. He rose a different god, broken, barely breathing, but knowing things no creature had ever known before. And it wasn't enough. He found Mimir's well and paid with his eye, pulled it from the hollow himself, and dropped it into black water for a single drink of knowledge. He walked away half blind and twice as hungry. Then came the mead. The Mead of Poetry was kept inside a mountain, guarded by a giant named Suttung, who trusted no one. So Odin didn't come as a god. He came as a wanderer, worked Suttung's brother's fields all summer for a single favor. One hole bored through the rock. When the drill broke through, Odin turned himself into a serpent and slithered inside. On the other side, in the dark heart of the mountain, he found Gunnlod, Suttung's daughter, alone with 3 vats of mead and orders to let no one touch them. Odin became a man again, spoke softly, stayed close. 3 nights he spent with her, and on each night, she let him drink from 1 vat. By the 3rd morning, all 3 were empty. He took the shape of an eagle and tore through the mountain before she opened her eyes. Suttung saw the bird fleeing and gave chase, but Odin was already over the walls of Asgard, spitting the stolen mead into waiting jars. He never looked back, left Gunnlod with nothing but cold sheets and an empty hall. Odin wasn't the strongest of the gods. He wasn't the bravest, but none of them wanted it more. He had hunger, a need to know that ate through him like rot through wood. He gave his body to the tree, his eye to the well, his honor to a woman he used and left behind, and every answer he found told him the same thing. The wolf, the jaws, the end of everything. So he started preparing. Valhalla was never a reward. It was a storehouse. Every warrior who died with iron in his hand was collected, brought to the Golden Hall, fed and forged for a battle that hadn't come yet. They thought they were being honored. They were being hoarded, the same way he hoarded everything else. He sent his ravens out every morning, Hugin and Munin, thought and memory. They flew across the world and brought him back everything they'd seen. Every night, Odin sat on his throne waiting for them to return. He feared losing thought, but he feared losing memory more. A god who forgets what he's learned has nothing left at all. When Ragnarok comes, the sky will split open, and the ground will shake until the mountains crack. Fenrir will break his chains at last, and open his jaws until the upper jaw touches the sky, and the lower drags along the earth. And Odin will put on his armor. He will take Gungnir in his fist. He will ride out at the head of the dead, every warrior he ever collected in Valhalla marching behind him. And he will look into that open mouth and see what he has always seen. And he will walk forward anyway. The god who learned everything, who bled and screamed and tore himself apart for wisdom. And wisdom told him it was never going to be enough.